So I don't mean to yell at your child, but you don't ever sit on a dog. Otis is a little doggy, and that would hurt him really bad. But also, a lot of dogs will not tolerate that, and he will because he has little kids at home that play with him. But she could have gotten bitten if it was a different dog. So we always want to be super careful about doing stuff like that. Like if you wouldn't want someone to come sit on your back, you wouldn't do it to the dogs. You know, just like pulling hair, pulling tails, and pulling ears. You know, if you don't want someone to do that to you, then you shouldn't do that to them, right?
The golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated.
Exactly.
But it also stands for animals.
Yes. Yes, your teacher is very smart. So you treat people and animals the way you want to be treated. Okay? So so one of the things that we talked about earlier was bite prevention, because someone came down and got really close in front of Otis's face. And again, Otis is a good boy. He's never bitten anyone, but his mouth is open, you see, and he's got those big long canines. And if he turns his head really quick and you're right there, those canines will drag. So just like, has anyone ever had their mom's nails, when their mom touches them, they catch their fingernails and scratch you accidentally? Yeah. You know, accidentally, you know, catch a nail, and that's what happens with the dogs, with their teeth. The problem with that is then the dog gets in trouble for that. So, and we have to watch the dog, and we have to put your dog on a timeout for 10 days. Your dog has to be away from everybody but you. So to make sure that they're safe and healthy. Okay, so we don't ever want to put our faces in another dog's face, because too, not all dogs are like Otis, and some dogs don't like that, you know. And do you want dog slobber up your nose? Who wants dog slobber up their nose? Nobody? Exactly. So even if you didn't bite, there's a good chance he's gonna lick your face, because who washed their face after eating breakfast this morning? 2 of us. 3 of us, that's it. Nobody else washed their face after eating breakfast. Which means you have breakfast on your face, you have breakfast on your face, you have breakfast on your face. Yes, you have breakfast on your face, so Otis is gonna lick everybody's face, okay? Because that's what he does. So we always wanna make sure our faces aren't in theirs, okay? What do we do if we see a loose dog? If you see a loose dog running down the street, what do?
Animal control.
Yep, exactly. Do you run up to it?
No.
And say, hi puppy, and give it a hug? Exactly.
And then it would give you a hug and you go.
Then you're in trouble, right? Because then you can get bitten.
You don't know if that dog had rabies or not.
Right.
What dogs? Before, we had like a big black dog.
Yep.
Around our house. We didn't know whose dog it was, but it was just walking around our house.
Yep, just wandering. Yep.
But it was our neighbor's dog, but we didn't know because it was like some unknown dog walking around.
Yep, and you don't ever approach him. And someone asked earlier what was on Otis's collar. So Otis has tags on his collar. Those tags are his rabies vaccination tag. It's his ID tag to say what his name is and where he lives and who to call if he gets lost. And his license tag is on there. So the licenses, I have a special computer that I can go in and I put their license tag number in, and it pulls up and it says, oh, this is John's dog and it lives at this house. Hang on one second, okay? So I can take the dog back. If I can't, now let's just say Otis didn't have a collar on and he was out running loose, and that's why I keep listening to my radio, because there's a call about a loose dog, and I have a coworker who's out doing my job. If we can't find the owner, then the dog has to be taken to the shelter, and where they wait for they're taken over to the SPCA, where they go in a cage and they wait until their human comes and gets them.
Yeah, so for example, we have a farm, so we pay that guy money to give us a great pioneer. So
Great Pyrenees.
Yeah.
Yep.
So would he need a license?
Yes.
Because he's only a farm dog.
Doesn't matter. He's a dog. Any dog, regardless of what they're doing. So Great Pyrenees, do you know what they're used for?
Yeah, because for farm, they are like to protect farm animals.
Exactly. So did you know this little tidbit about them, that Great Pyrenees are nocturnal? you know that?
What do you mean by
Nocturnal, which means they're awake at night. They more normally sleep during the day.
Oh,
Yes. So that's why Great Pyrenees don't always make good pets, because they're working dogs and they're designed to be up at night, to be out in the fields with the sheep to protect them. So yes, I had a friend of mine who moved in, bought this house that butts up to a farm and where they have sheep and goats. And she's like, they had this Great Pyrenees, they had this big huge white dog, they said, who was always barking at night. What do I do? And I told her to get earphones. I said, get headphones, get earbuds. I said, because it's doing its job, and if it's barking, it's chasing something bad off the property that doesn't belong to be there. I said, it's doing its job, and there's no way around that. So, and she started laughing. She's like, I can't believe you told me to get earplugs. I'm like, well, you have to do what I'm telling you. You know, turn a fan on or listen to some white noise. Odie. Hey, Otis. Dude, let him come in and sit. You can say hi in a minute. Sorry, he feels the need to say hi to everybody when they come in. There you go. If you don't want to get slobbered on, don't sit in the front row. So, no, you're not looking at the baby. Good boy. So, some safety things. First of all, we don't run up to a dog that we don't know, okay? We don't ever hug a dog. And I'm going to show you why in a few minutes, but I want Otis to settle down, not that there's new people in here. Because sometimes dogs are just having bad days and they don't want to. And just because your dog, like I can hug Otis, doesn't mean he likes it, he's known most of his life. But it's not comfortable. So for a dog, it's me being the boss when you do that to a dog. When I put my hand over the back of Otis's neck or over his head, if I was a dog, he would take that as you're the boss of me. So when a stranger comes up and does that to a dog, anybody ever see a dog go like this? Then they go to reach to touch the head? Because it's rude. And the dog is saying, don't do that to me. Just like if I came up to you, huh? Right. Don't do that to me. So if I just come up to you, say I walk right up to you and I go like this and give you a hug, you're looking at me like, what are you doing? That's rude, right? Because you don't come up and hug strangers, right? So that's the same with the dog. That's why you don't hug a dog, all right? And you always ask to pet the dog. Even if someone else is petting, ask first, okay? Because then it makes the owner or the person on the other end of the leash aware that you're sticking your hand in there so that they can watch their dog to see what that their dog is okay with it, okay? Anybody ever get growled at by a dog?
Me.
Yeah. What did you do when you got growled at?
When I went inside, when me and my mom went inside and just been barking like it's a stranger, but it's just us.
Right, but not barking, growling. Going, "Rrrr."
Yeah, I think we are strangers.
It's just you?
Yeah.
Yup. You get growled at?
I think I got growled at before by one of our dogs.
Yep.
And it's a dog who really doesn't want to go outside.
Okay. And what happened? What did you do when the dog growled at you?
I think I went away from him. I don't know.
Exactly. You went away from him. So when it
Boss, I told the boss he did the keep, I just put one in the bowl.
Yeah, you put treats in the bowl
Oh.
if they don't feel like having it right at that moment.
Oh, that makes sense. I like it. That's a good
I
option.
try to, whenever like one doesn't listen, I try to get treats to lure them outside.
Yup.
When I
That's a
have
good
to.
plan.
But now
Odie.
one of our dogs is smart enough to not listen at
I
all.
know there's a baby here. I'd like baby
And
here.
our dog Maui
Just the little bird gets
out
There you go.
after she
Yeah, you sit
does
down.
go
Good boy. So when a dog growls, that is the only verbal communication that we as humans understand, right? So if I get up into your space, you're gonna say, back up, right? You're too close. You're making me uncomfortable. So when a dog growls, that's what they're saying. They don't like the situation. So when they're doing that, you remove whatever they're growling at. You don't punish the dog, okay? So a dog never gets parents. Dogs never get in trouble for growling. It is the only communication that every single person on the planet understands as meaning I am not happy. When you punish the dog for growling, guess what they stop doing? They stop giving you, exactly, they stop growling, they stop giving you the only form of communication that you know means back up. I'm not happy, I'm not comfortable, okay? Dogs do lots of other things that most people don't even notice. They'll tuck their tail down underneath them. They'll pin their ears back nice and flat. They'll look at you side-eye like this, okay? They'll yawn when they're not tired, okay? So there's a lot of things that dogs do when they're not happy that we don't pay attention to. So next time you're home and you're playing with your dog, watch what it's doing. If the dog is if Otis starts yawning right now, he's not tired. He's been sleeping until I picked him up half hour ago. Why do I keep looking at my dead watch? So he's not tired. If he starts yawning, it's because he's getting stressed out. So when you guys are all around him, his tail's wagging, he's very happy. When his tail stops wagging or he starts dropping his tail down here, that means it's too much for him and you guys are stressing him out, all right? So you always do things to calm them down. You always come down to their level, okay? I'm really big, right? And if I have this on, that's not cool, right? It's very uncomfortable. So, but how about this? Is this better if we talk like this? Yeah, right? Because you're down on their level. So if you have a nice dog, you come up to them, hey Otis, come on. You come down here, come on. Come on. Come here. Howdy. We're trying to prove a point here. Come here. He's like, but I didn't get to sniff them yet. I missed them. He's like, come on. Hey, Otis. So at this level, it's much more comfortable. Okay? He's like, oh, hit the spot, all right? And this is better. This is a better option. Lots of dogs like that spot right above their tail scratch, you know? And nice and calm and massagey, all right? If you play rough around a dog's face, especially a puppy, they're gonna bite and they're gonna nip because you're playing rough around their face and it's exciting and that's what their litter mates do. So you don't wanna do that. You wanna make sure you're nice and calm. Otis? Yeah. That's his nickname that his family calls him. So now, hang on one second, okay? So what happens, what do you think you do if the dog's trying to bite your fingers? What do you do?
Take the fingers, like move them back.
Okay, and then what happens?
And try to get away from it.
Okay.
Because if it's off his leash, it's almost impossible to get away from him. Like if he's like strong up.
Yep.
Like,
but what can you do with what don't you want to do? You don't want to do this.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to put your hands up because then they'll just jump.
Exactly. They're going to jump and try to get him, and now it became a game. And now, I don't know if you saw Otis's nails because he needs a pedicure, but now you have them scratching you. Okay.
Put them in your pocket.
Hang on. Nope. You can, but then they get. What if they get stuck? You know, my medical bracelet gets caught on something inside my pockets all the time. So if you just do, I like to call it angry face. Just cross your arms and put them underneath. Okay. Now, if the dog is jumping on me, I want to stay. If there's a loose dog, you want to stay on your feet as long as you can. You don't want to let the dog knock you down. Okay? So if the dog is jumping, you want to just keep turning your back, and turning your back, and turning your back, okay? You don't want to make eye contact. Because with humans, I know you're paying attention to me when you're looking at me, right? But if I'm looking over here, who am I talking to? Exactly. You think I'm talking to this nice lady, all right? But I'm talking to all of you, all right? With dogs, if you stare at dogs like this, you know what that means? Like, it means you're challenging me. And if you're gonna challenge a dog, you have to, don't do it. You have to win that challenge. You don't do it.
You gotta
So
fight
you
for
don't
your
wanna
life.
you don't wanna scream, because what makes high-pitched noises? Prey, right? Bunnies and rats and mice and things like that dogs hunt. Makes high-pitched squealing noises. So if you're screaming and you're running, who came in first? Who was the first group here? Okay, so when you guys all came in, and you ran across the floor, what did Otis do?
He chased you.
Exactly, he chased after you because he thought it was a game. Now, how much do you weigh? Do you know how much you weigh?
No, I don't have a 30.
Like 40.
Okay, so you weigh 40 pounds. Otis weighs probably about 55. So guess who's gonna win if someone gets knocked down? Otis. If Otis wanted to, I outweigh Otis by about 100 pounds, and he can still take me down. All right. So we want to stay on your feet as much as possible, and let the dog. If the dog is going to jump on you, have it jumping on your back. Okay. Because there's more protecting you there. There's less, like your stomach and everything is here. You don't want that getting bitten or dove. You don't want your face getting bit. You don't want your hands getting bit. Okay? So you're going to do your angry face, and you're not going to make eye contact. You're just going to look down and keep turning until the dog gets away.
So you know what to do.
Right, exactly. So until the dog walks away or someone comes in, now you can yell for help, but don't scream like, you know. You want to yell help or no or off in the mean voice. Okay? Because those things go home sometimes work. Huh?
Maybe you shouldn't even run because that just makes them chase.
Yes, you should definitely not run.
Because the dog I was talking about at my grandma and grandpa's house,
Yep.
whenever I run, he goes right after me.
Exactly.
He
Because some
thinks I'm
dogs.
playing a game whenever I run.
Exactly. And because some dogs are hunting dogs. So if you start running, they start chasing. And it's a big game. And at the end of the day, there's no way you are outrunning the dog. You're going to get knocked down. Okay? So I need everybody to make sure there's no one behind them, because we're going to do a little thing for what happens when you get knocked down. All right? Okay, well, I'm going to have you move over here to letter F, and then you'll be good there. Okay? So what we're going to do is if an animal knocks you down, you want to protect as much of your body as you can. Okay? Most dog bites and cat bites happen in 2 spots: the arms and face and the head. Okay? Or arms and hands and your face. All right? So you're going to want to protect those things. Okay? Has anyone ever been here before when I've done this? No one? Oh, are you volunteering?
I can do it.
I have a volunteer who's going to demo for me, so I'll take my vest off. Yes. Yes.
I'll let Miss Sarah do it
Okay,
this time.
so if everybody can back up a little bit, so Miss Sarah has them on the rug, so her knees don't. So first thing you're going to do is hands up, thumbs in, okay? And then we're going to cover our thumbs, okay? So we want to protect our fingers, all right? Then we're going to always stay down on our knees, and we're going to put our head down on the ground. We're going to tuck it nice and tight to our chin, all right? And then we're going to make sure that our hands are covering our face. So now I'm going to let Otis, go ahead. If Otis can lick your face, then you're not doing a very good job. See? So you want to make sure you're nice and tight. Oh, she can get you. So you want to put your ears behind, your hands up. There you go. There you go. Oh, sorry, buddy. Get him. Get him. No, you couldn't get them? I'm sorry? Get him. Get him. Go this way. Go this way. Otis. 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 Good job. Okay, the only thing you need to do, go ahead, you guys can get up, is you need to be on your knees, okay? So you want to be on your knees, like, what's your name, honey? Like Colton. See how he's on his knees? Because he's protecting, that way he can protect his belly. Yes. Yep. And nice and tight. Yep. Okay. Good job. But you can get up. Sorry. So you want to make sure that they can't get you. So by doing that, you've protected your face, you've protected your hands and your fingers. Your arms are probably going to get scratched or bit up. But your most important stuff is your pretty faces, right? Because mommy would be mad if your pretty faces didn't come home, right? Right? Yep. Yep.
And we went back and then we saw our old 2 dogs, our old one, sold.
Yep.
And then accidentally my bottle dropped, and I went to take it. I was like 1 inch away to get my finger ripped off.
Right.
Like,
Because it's not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was ours.
No.
But, like,
Once it's on the ground, it's not yours anymore. Now you got to figure out how you're getting it back. So
Yeah.
sometimes you got to do one of these. Don't ever. Anybody have 2 dogs at home? Okay. Just sometimes they get.
One is like 9 and the other's 10.
But sometimes they get.
Mix of Rottweiler and a pit bull, and then I have a mix of pit bull and a shepherd.
Oh, very nice. So you got wrinkly dogs. We call it Sharpays $50 a wrinkle dog. Because they're super expensive to get around now. Or purebred. So those of you who have multiple dogs at home, do they ever get into fights? So sometimes they get into scuffles, right?
Because mine is mine.
Hang on, you put your hands down for a second.
Because the Rottweiler and the mix of the Rottweiler and pit bull is
Yep. So sometimes they get into fights, and sometimes they get playing too rough. Okay. So there are 2 options that I always tell people. One is the hey no, and that's hey no. It gets your attention. Everybody looked at me when I clapped, right? Even Otis looked at me. I was like, what? All right. So and you want to use your big person voice. Okay? And that way, you're not yelling at one dog, okay? They're both playing, they're both fighting, they're both being rough. So you're saying, no, everybody calm down, okay? Your friends at the library, when they have story time and stuff like that, they get all your attention by doing what? How do you get their attention when you want that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. Well, now you need to, hey. So, but when you do that, it makes them go, what is that? Okay? Don't ever put your hands in there. Because what's going to happen if 2 dogs are fighting and you put your hands in there? Your hands are going to get bit. And guess who's going to get in trouble for it? Exactly. Not you. The dog. Okay? Because now the dog bit you, right? But you're going to be the one who has to go to the hospital, not the dog. So you don't ever want to do that. You want to make noise. If there's something, when we used to work on training and we would do group classes, we used to keep a tennis racket. And if dogs got too close or got into it, we put a tennis racket between them. But hey, no. And it stops everybody from doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Okay? And if it gets worse than that, open it, let it go. Don't put your hands in the front. I know we all want to protect our animals, and we all don't. No one wants anybody to see that bill, but it's way better than having a child who has to be rushed to Albany Med. So we don't want that. Now, if you get bit by a cat, gotta let it go. If you get bit by any animal, it's really important that you let it bleed. If it's someplace where you can, like it's on your hands or arms, run it under water and let it keep bleeding. Because if blood is coming out, bacteria isn't going in, okay? Cats' mouths are filthy. Their mouths are so dirty that you can get really, really, really sick, okay? For the parents here, if your child gets bit by a cat, especially an adult cat, they need to go to the doctor. Okay, if it's 9 o'clock at night, I'm not saying take them to the ER because you're just gonna sit there for hours and hours and hours. Call your pediatrician in the morning, tell them they got bit by a cat. If they do not say, oh, you need some antibiotics, then ask for them. Because I'm telling you, flat out, I run a kitten rescue. I have been a dog trainer for almost 20 years, and cat bites will get infected. Even the best, like I had one on my knuckle, and I got infected up to halfway up my hand because I'm allergic to antibiotics, so I have to fight with everything. So if the doctor does not say yes, we'll get you some antibiotics for a cat bite, then you ask for them and tell them, hey, Officer Kline said my kid got bit by a cat, they need to be on antibiotics. All right. Dog bites, again, you want to let them bleed. You want to go just, if you get bit, run home this way with the blood dripping down your arm. It's totally cool. If you get blood on your clothes, guess what? Mom's not going to care because everybody gets washes, right?
Yeah, and blood.
Exactly, totally washes off your clothes. So just look at mine. I mean, I think these were bled on last week, and my shoes. So you know, it's really important, and don't ever, put your hand out for a second, I'll come back for questions, okay? Don't ever lie about who bit you, okay? I'm not gonna come and take your best friend's dog away because it bit you while you guys were playing. I'm not gonna come to your house and take your cat away from you because you were playing tug and the cat got your hand, or because you went to move a blanket and the cat scratched your leg, alright? So it doesn't matter what bit you, always be honest. Whether it's your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the ferret, a loose wild animal. Does anyone here go to St. Mary's Institute? Okay, yes, so there was a lovely young girl who got bit by a rabid fox at St. Mary's.
I was gonna say
Okay.
that. There was a kid who got bit by a fox
Yes.
and got rabies.
She did not get rabies. She got rabies vaccines. So rabies it's called a zoonotic. I know it's a big word, but a zoonotic means it's something.
Like a virus.
Me and my dad were walking at some time up the hill.
Yep.
Near our house, and our sister, she saw a rabbit skunk. It had porcupine quills all on its back,
Oh.
and it came out because she was cleaning something outside of her house,
Yep.
and it came out of nowhere.
Yep.
And it just started, it almost attacked her, and she ran inside.
Yeah, probably because it was in pain with the porcupine. It got into it with the porcupine quills are no joke. So the fox did not, this young lady did not do anything bad. She didn't go up to it, try to pet it. It was sick. It did, the fox had rabies. The child did not. Okay? So
But
rabies,
did she get it?
she did not. She got there's special shots that you have to get. It's not fun, so don't get bit. Alright, don't mess with them. Don't lie about it, because if we don't know where the animal, so let's just say that Otis bit you, okay? He did, but we're gonna say he did, alright? And your parent or guardian takes you to the hospital and says, alright, oh, Otis bit me. Alright, they're gonna call me up and say, does Otis have his vaccines? Is Otis safe? Yes. And for 10 days, we're gonna keep an eye on Otis. And Otis will be fine because he has his rabies vaccine, and the rabies vaccine is 100% effective, okay? Now, if you lie to me, or if you lie to the hospital and say, I don't know who bit me, they're gonna call me and they're gonna say, you have 3 days to find the dog that bit this young man. And if we don't find that dog in 3 days, then this young man has to have vaccines, okay? This little girl was 10. She was probably maybe about your size. Her first series was 7 injections. On the first day, 7 injections at once, okay? And then she had to go back for 7 more total over the next 2 weeks. You don't want that, okay? Especially if it's an accident and your friend's dog bit you. Do we know the difference between a dog bite and a dog attack? No? Do you know the difference? Okay.
So, I think so when a dog bites, he bites in one place. And when he attacks, he tries to get everywhere.
Exactly. So a dog bite is usually a warning. It's usually get away from me, let me have what I had. I'm playing and I missed my toy and got your hand instead. That happens with me when I play with the canines all the time. So me and Nico constantly play tug, and every so often he gets my thumb. And it's like, and the same with my dog. Those are accidental bites, okay? A dog attack is when a dog comes at you for the purpose of harm. For whatever reason. Maybe you were mean to it. Maybe you were trying to go bother its puppies. Maybe it was in pain and you were the first one there. Maybe it's just a mean dog and it doesn't know you and it wants to hurt you. Those are different.
A dog attack would be like it tries to hunt you for a.
It could stalk you and hunt you.
It would like not stop until
Yes.
it dies.
Yep. So those are different. And those things are when I come and take the dog away. Alright? But don't, like I said, don't lie about what bit you or who bit you, because it's better to tell, it's safer for you if I know. and your parents know. Because that little girl who got bit, she did. She went that day, she got her vaccines. She was at school the next day telling her friends that she had her vaccines and that she was gonna be okay even though this fox tested positive for raccoon rabies, of all things. So,
We had to track down the fox.
we did. The DEC came in, I was there, 5 of my coworkers at the police department were there, just walking up and down until this fox came out, and they finally came out and they dispatched it, and then I had to drive it to this special lab where all this doctor does all day is look at dead animal rabies. That's all he does all day long, to look for rabies, and then they test what variant of rabies there are. So they typically have their own variation, their own type of rabies, but they're seeing an increase in raccoon rabies, right? It's a zoonotic, which means everybody can get it. You can get it, your dog can get it, your cat can get it, a raccoon can get it, a skunk can get it. For some reason, squirrels don't. I don't know why. It's not a common thing in them. And I believe possums don't. I don't know, there's some weird things. But pretty much, if you're a mammal, you can get rabies. Bats, does anybody know that bats can actually live with rabies? The only thing that can live with rabies. Why do you think vampires live forever? So they live with rabies. So, and you would never know if you got bit by a bat. Yep, so you gotta be careful with that, so you have to make sure you're playing calm and more cool. If the dog's coming after and playing rough with you, make sure you have a toy, and you say no, you remove your hand and you put the toy in.
Have you ever got bitten by a dog?
There's my one scar. I got a whole bunch of them on the back of my legs. Surprisingly enough, this is the only real dog who's ever intentionally bit me. All the rest were like little barking, I call them barking cats, like all those little dogs.
So like rabies are like a disease like rats could carry them.
Yep.
Once
Yep.
my dad found like a rat, and he put it in this little thing and he brought it home.
Yep.
I really wanted to pet it because I thought it was cute, but I guess you should never underestimate.
No. No. And rats can chew through metal.
What?
And wood. Oh yes. Yes, they can. They're super smart. They can chew through wood, they can chew through metal, yeah. Plastic.
What about like mice? I think it was like a mouse, but like
They can chew through,
I have random facts that I know, and you know, it's beyond that. Like I'd be great at trivia pursuit for those things.
so like a raccoon came and chewed our
A raccoon?
No, a like whole child rat came and chewed our.
Oh yeah, yeah. That drives me nuts. Well, we can't do that. What's up?
one time I got bit by a cat.
You did?
You got scratched by a cat.
Yeah.
I think that happened with the absolutely most fattest cat in the world.
Let me get to these guys first, okay? What do you got? What, honey? Oh, you can get it. You have 2 dogs? I have 1 dog. I used to have 2 dogs. No, he's not my dog. He wants to know what's going on with that baby. What do you got for
Hi.
him?
So I think I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I had a dog, a German Shepherd, and he was a really good dog. He was my best friend. He was right with me in everything. He would actually protect me from my mother when she would come to wake me up. He would go on top and growl at her.
Right.
So I was really close to this dog, and he was my best friend. But one time, I guess my mom was cooking chicken, and you know how they drain the chicken on a paper towel?
Yep.
For either he took it out of the garbage or something, and he put it in his mouth. and I saw it, and I didn't want him to choke on it. So I went and grabbed it and took it out of his mouth, and he bit my finger and started chewing it. It was
He thought it
so scary,
Yeah.
because he's my best friend, and I couldn't believe that.
Because he
did
thought
that.
it was still the napkin and it was his, you know, and that's something like we never take things away because we can, okay? Just because you're bigger than him doesn't mean you should just go up and take something away from him, right? So why do we think it's okay to do it to the dogs? You know, if it's something that's, so if you start when they're little, we call it remove and replace. Oh, yeah, it's just his hair. He's just got a white spot on his tail. So you want to remove and replace. So if it's something they're not supposed to have, say they come up and they grab your favorite shoe, okay? You're going to take a treat, or you're going to take a dog toy, and you're going to say treat, and you're going to hold on to your shoe, and you're going to offer them something better, so that they know, oh, well that's not mine. I'll take this instead. All right. So you always want to trade, because it's always something better. If I say to you, well, you don't want that toy, you want this toy. You're like, oh, that is a better toy. Cool, I'll take that. You're happy, right? So what happens next time I come up and I take something away from you because it's dangerous, because you just picked up a knife, and I come and I take it away from you, you're not going to be all, why did you do that? Because whenever I took something away from you before, I gave you something better. Okay? So we don't want to take stuff away. We don't want to, stick our hands, like Bernadette said, she was doing it because she didn't want her dog to get hurt, and she didn't want her dog to choke, because chances are that would have got stuck somewhere on the way down. So, but she accidentally got bit. Yes, right there, or in her belly. Otis, I would never be able to give away to sell Otis. He is not mine, first of all. And his mama, even though she's only this big, would beat me up if I tried to give away her dog. Otis came to me first. He came into the station. He is not my dog. I've known him since he was 6 months old. He came into the police station. His back leg was hanging like this, because he broke his femur. This is the femur, and this is the strongest bone in your body, okay? So there's 2 ways that dogs break this bone, okay? They either get hit by a car, or they fall or get thrown downstairs. That's the only way dogs break that bone. There's no other way, because it's such a strong bone. And for them, it's like this big. So Otis has a plate, and if you notice sometimes when he gets up, his hair grew in funny, so there's a line that goes like this straight up his side where his stitches are. So he has a plate in there with some screws holding it together. So he came in, and my neighbor was helping him with his rehab, making sure the muscles got strong and things like that, and she fell in love with him and he stayed. So now, because he's such a good boy, after my husky passed away, I started using him for bite prevention, because he likes the kids. Yep.
All right, let's do a couple more questions, everybody. Questions.
Does he have teeth?
Yeah.
Then he can bite.
Like,
Any animal, if it has teeth, can bite. If I came up to you and I held you and I was holding you down, how would you get away from me? Right, but what if I'm holding your arms? What could you do? You could bite. You could bite my arm. If I had my arm around you, you could bite. So anything is capable of biting if they have teeth. And you could have the best dog ever. Like I said, Otis has been, he had a puppy at his house the other day who was literally grabbing him by the jowls and pulling on the side of his face. And you know what Otis did? Nothing. He was just like, whatever. Yeah, you can't do that, because see, when he looks at you really quick like that, he looks at you and he closes his mouth because he's not comfortable, okay? So when he's like this, we call it the pity smile. Like pit bulls, we call it the pity smile when their mouth is open wide like that. All right, now, see how he closed his mouth? He's like, what's going on? So he's not sure. So when their mouth is closed, it can get open again. It can get open to go nice and relaxed, or it can get open to bite something, okay? So, smiling dog is a happy dog, right?
Dakota.
All right.